Oahu is an island full of great food. In fact, there is so much of it that it can be hard to narrow down exactly where to eat. With so many great choices, let me share with you some of the great places to try while you're on Oahu that are also very kid-friendly if you're coming as a family. Welcome to the Savvy Sightseer, the channel that helps you travel savvy. My family and I have a tradition when arriving in Kauai, Oahu, or Maui, and that is going to a Duke's restaurant. Their locations with views of the ocean are unmatched, and it's the perfect first meal to welcome you to the islands. So right after we arrived in Oahu, we checked into our hotel and headed across the street to Duke's. Duke's is located inside the Outrigger Hotel and sits right on Waikiki Beach. And if you know where to sit, you can get views with Diamond Head, like this one. And nothing welcomes you more to Hawaii than this view. Now, to get this view, I suggest sitting in the barefoot bar portion of the restaurant. In this area, you can sit where you want as long as there are open tables, and the menu is a bit more casual. I actually prefer this menu to the restaurant because the restaurant is a bit more upscale and more expensive. And although the restaurant has tables with a view, the barefoot bar has the tables closest to the beach. One thing I want to tell you is to come prepared with your sunscreen. Because you are so close to the beach, you can get hit by the sun pretty well here. So if you want this view, be ready to brave that Hawaiian sun. The food isn't going to be the best food of your life, but it is consistently good. And the Mai Tais are the best we have had on the island. We were taught at Duke's sister restaurant, Keoki's Paradise in Kauai, that you always squeeze the lime in. And they were right. My husband always gets the fish tacos, and the kids love their tropical drinks and kids' meals. Also, be prepared for some local visitors. Just like we experienced at Keoki's Paradise in Kauai, we had a gecko come visit us. It climbed right up the front of my daughter's shirt, which provided some great entertainment for the kids. Overall, Duke's is a great choice to get some decent food, but with one of the most well-known views on all of Oahu. It really can't be beat. If you're looking for another popular Waikiki restaurant with great views, you can try Monkey Pod Kitchen, which is a part of Merriman Restaurants. Monkey Pod is located inside the Outrigger Reef Waikiki Beach Resort. The first thing to know about this restaurant is that it's always busy. So if you know you want to go here, plan a few months in advance and make reservations. The coveted time slot around sunset is booked up months in advance to get tables where you can see these Waikiki sunsets. This restaurant is quite large, but we still had to wait for almost an hour around 7 p.m. So be prepared for a long wait and don't expect a table with a view unless those reservations are made in advance. Monkey Pod is probably most famous for their Lilikoi foam-topped Mai Tais. The ones we had here were probably the strongest Mai Tais I have ever had. They were really good, but I will say that in my opinion, Duke's Mai Tais still beat them. But the Lilikoi foam was amazing and did make them unique. There's also a kids version if your kids want something a little special. As for the food, it's all very good. They specialize in fish, and my son fell in love with their unique take on fish and chips. One of their most popular items is their Kahlua pork and pineapple pizza, made with a macadamia nut pesto and Kahlua pork. It's their take on a Hawaiian pizza. My husband said it was maybe one of his favorite pizzas of all time. And if you have room, try their desserts. They're absolutely delicious. The strawberry cream pie was our favorite. Now, if you're staying at Aulani or you find yourself over in the Coalina area, there's also a second Oahu location right across the street from Aulani. We enjoyed our food so much at the Waikiki location, we decided to also eat at the Coalina location when we were staying at Aulani. This location is not on the water, and it's a bit more laid back and quiet than the Waikiki location, making it a bit of a different experience. Both locations do have live music, though, making them both fun atmospheres. When we went to the one in Coalina, we went at happy hour. One tip about dining at any Monkey Pod location is that if you're going for happy hour, which is 3:30 to 5 each day, you can get half off certain appetizers, the pizzas are discounted, and the Mai Tais are $4 off, along with other drink discounts. This makes this restaurant very reasonable. We did have to get the fish and chips and Kahlua pork and pineapple pizza again because we really enjoyed those a lot and we wanted them for a second time. And of course, we got a few more of those tasty Lilikoi foam-topped Mai Tais, especially when they were $4 off. If you are looking for some food that is quick and also delicious, you will want to check out one of the many food trucks found all over the island. A restaurant I saw recommended time and time again was Seven Brothers Burgers. They have 4 locations located on the island, but you can find one of their food trucks on the North Shore by Sharks Cove. We stopped here on our day exploring the North Shore and after snorkeling at Sharks Cove, and it did not disappoint. They have a large seating area with picnic tables that overlook the ocean and yard games set out to entertain kids. Their most popular burger is the Paniolo burger, which is their version of a cowboy burger. They also have Paniolo fries smothered in their secret sauce and barbecue sauce and topped with grilled pineapple, caramelized onions, and onion rings. My husband and I shared both of those because we wanted to experience what all the hype was, and we sure found out. This burger and these fries were amazing. It really is one of the top burgers I have had in my life. Another food truck to try out if you're on the North Shore near Hal Evas is Surf and Salsa. If you are hungry for some quick and delicious Mexican food, this is the place for you. For us, we're always looking for great Mexican food no matter where we are, and we found it here. Tucked back amongst a handful of food trucks, you will find Surf and Salsa. The food was really good here. My husband and I shared the fajitas. My son got the ginormous quesadilla with a side of beans and rice, and my daughter got a taco. Portion sizes were so big here that we had more than enough food and actually had a ton left over that we just had to throw away. And the food came out quick and was very reasonably priced. And if you've ever been to Hawaii, you know how rare it is to find food that seems reasonably priced. And if your family all want something different, there's the Haleiwa Burgers and Big Wave Shrimp Truck in the same parking lot, which are both also highly rated, so there really can be something for everyone. Speaking of good Mexican food, another great Mexican food in Coalina near Aulani is Makiko Cantina. This is located right across the street from Aulani. The food here was also very good, especially their chips and salsa. There are only so many restaurants at Aulani, so this was a nice break from the food there and a little more removed from the hustle and bustle all over the resort. The prices were also very reasonable, and if you're looking for an even better deal, they have a great happy hour. The outdoor seating area is also very nice if you want to spend some more time out in the sun. If you are looking for a more upscale and unique dining experience on Oahu, you have to check out Haleiwa Joe's. They have 2 locations, one in Haleiwa and one in Kaneohe. You want to go to the one in Kaneohe. This open-air restaurant is tucked back into a tropical paradise, and the views unlike any view you will get anywhere else in all of Hawaii. You will want a table with this view. It makes the experience there unforgettable. This restaurant is very popular and famous for their prime rib. In order to get the prime rib, you have to get there early because it does sell out. They open at 4 p.m. Now, we arrived about 5 minutes prior to 4, and there was already a line. We ended up waiting about 15 minutes to get a table with a view, but it was so worth it. When you sit down, you are served their house bread with guava butter. My kids devoured this. The drinks were average, but that's not why you're here. It's about the food. Both my husband and I got the prime rib. One thing we wish we had known, though, is the astounding size of this prime rib. We could have shared one and still had some left over. The prime rib was one of the best we've ever had. It truly did just melt in your mouth. The kids' menu is limited, so be aware of this, as my son did struggle to find something he really wanted to eat. But luckily, they had desserts that made it all better for him. Their desserts were fabulous and really worth saving room for. The meal here was very memorable because of the views and the quality of the food. And definitely, this is a restaurant I would add to the top of the list to visit when you're in Oahu. If you are a beer drinker like my husband, then you might want to check out one of the local breweries. When looking up places, one of the top-rated breweries was Hanakoa Brewing Company, which is located in Honolulu. Coming from Portland, Oregon, it's hard for my husband to find beer that has the quality he is used to, but he actually really enjoyed their beer here and said they were surprisingly good. The names of the different beers are reason enough to come to this place. I got a chuckle out of these creative names. The food was your typical brewery food, such as burgers and fries, but with a twist and a little spicy kick, making it unique and tasty in its own way. I love being able to share with you all of my research, experiences, and tips I have learned while traveling. If you are finding this video helpful, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, comment, and check the notifications for more savvy travel tips. I really appreciate your support so I can keep sharing with you all these savvy sightseeing ideas. If you are looking for some coffee and breakfast options, I have you covered. The first one, and probably the most popular, is Island Vintage Coffee. This is an Oahu hotspot with several locations on the island and other locations on Maui and the Big Island. The most popular location is in Waikiki in the Royal Hawaiian Center. This location is very busy, so be prepared to wait in a line and have to wait for a table to open up if you choose to eat there. This is some of our favorite coffee whenever we are on one of those islands, and my daughter and I are in love with our acai bowl. Another coffee shop in Waikiki is Kona Coffee. We actually went to 2 of their locations in Waikiki. Both get quite busy, especially the later you go in the morning, so again, be prepared for more lines. The coffee is actually pretty good here. It's not earth-shattering, but it gets the job done, and at least it's pretty decent. Now, the first one we went to was in our hotel, the Hyatt Regency, and the second one was actually just a short walking distance from our hotel right across from Waikiki Beach. We actually went to the location right across from the beach the second time because it served crepes, which the location within the Hyatt Regency did not. The crepes are made fresh right there, and they also have delicious breakfast burritos and a surprisingly really good scone. It was one of the most delicious scones I've ever had from a coffee shop. If you're looking for some really great pastries and good coffee, you will want to check out Kona Coffee Purveyors in Waikiki. While standing in this insanely long line, something felt very familiar to me. It wasn't until I got up to the pastry case and saw these truly impressive pastries did I realize that they served the exact same pastries at Bee Patisserie that we had actually had in San Francisco. But unlike the one in San Francisco where we hated their coffee, this place serves Kona coffee and was much better. This place is more upscale and is definitely on the more expensive side, but the pastries are delicious and the coffee is strong. Their most popular pastry is the kuiamon, which is this sugary, crunchy, buttery pastry, and they actually put their own Hawaiian spin on it, which was this lilikoi-filled one. I don't know if they have that all the time, but they had it while we were there, and if they do, get it. It's absolutely to die for. It made the perfect breakfast on the go so we could get out and start our day. The best coffee we had on our trip was actually at a place we did not expect. The day we went to the North Shore, we stopped at a place called Green World Coffee Farm. As you pull into the gravel parking lot, you see a rundown building, and we wondered if we were in the right spot. But once you walk up, you get the delicious smell of fresh roasted coffee. This was hands down our favorite coffee of the entire trip. The gift shop inside sells their beans, and we bought 2 bags, but really wish we would have bought more because we loved it so much. There are also smoothies for the kids, and there's this self-guided tour around the farm to see how coffee is produced. It's definitely worth a stop, and the coffee alone won't let you regret it. Now, a place you won't be able to find good coffee, but you'll find a great breakfast burrito is Kono's. There are a handful of locations on the island, and all are very popular. The one we went to was right in Waikiki within walking distance of our hotel. They offer a variety of things, but the popular items are their bombers, which are their breakfast burritos. Based on most recommendations I saw, we went with the Chun's Bomber, which has this slow roasted pulled Kalua pork and bacon inside. Now, pork is their thing here, so you will find a lot of this on their menu. This burrito was very tasty and big enough to share between me and my husband. It was filled with lots of meat and eggs and potatoes. And the kids love their cheese quesadillas that you can also get for breakfast, along with smoothies. This location had limited seating, so we took ours to go, which was actually a great plan to get out exploring the island that day. If you find yourself in Coalina, you will come across what has now become my daughter's favorite breakfast restaurant in the entire world. It's called Eggs and Things. This is another restaurant with a few locations across the island, but this one does seem to get the best reviews. It's located right across from Aulani in the same area as Monkey Pod Kitchen and Makiko Cantina that I had mentioned earlier. The breakfasts here are huge and delicious. The scramble that I got was the best scramble I have ever had in my life. It was filled with lots of meat and cheese and way too big to eat. And my daughter got the rainbow pancakes, which she says is her favorite breakfast of all time now. Also, something that was really good were their potatoes. They were really well seasoned and crunchy, and my son couldn't stop eating them, and that actually says a lot because he'll never eat potatoes. 2 of the most popular treats in Hawaii are Malasadas and Shave Ice. So, you cannot come to Oahu without trying both. If you want to find the most famous malasadas on the island, if not all the islands, you will want to go to Leonard's Bakery. Since 1952, they have been making piping hot, delicious malasadas, which are Portuguese donuts but without a hole. And sometimes they're filled with these yummy custard fillings. There is the original location and also food trucks located around the island. The original location is always busy. There will be a line, but it's worth the wait as they cook these fresh to go and they come out steaming hot. You put in your order at the front counter, then wait outside until your number's called. You are then handed their iconic pink box filled with your malasadas. Their cinnamon sugar one was my favorite as it reminded me of an extra tasty, extra soft elephant ear. Also, they are very messy, so make sure to grab a bunch of napkins before you go. And the one thing that is an absolute must to eat while in Hawaii, no matter which island you are on, is shave ice. You will find this stuff all over any island, but there can be a big difference between the different locations. You want shave ice that is made with real fruit, fresh, and the flavors are strong. One location that meets that criteria is Island Vintage Shave Ice. This is owned by the same company as Island Vintage Coffee. They have a few locations on the island. My suggestion is to go to the one in Waikiki that is located in the Waikiki Beach Marriott Resort. There's also a kiosk in Waikiki, but that one can get insanely long lines. The shave ice here is fresh and unique and is sometimes served with mochi on the side. On the North Shore is where we found our favorite shave ice, which ranks up there as our favorite shave ice we have ever had on any island. This was found at Kula Shave Ice. Located right near fruit stands on the side of the road, on the North Shore, you will find a shave ice that is made with all natural and organic ingredients. And boy, can you tell. These tasted like fresh fruit, and the ice was extremely soft. You can tell by the muted colors that this is all natural. No fake dyes here. Also, it sits right on the edge of a farm where they produce fresh produce for Turtle Bay Resort, making its location unique and fun to enjoy your shave ice at. And while you're there, make sure to check out the fruit stands and grab some fresh fruit to go, especially the apple bananas, which are our favorite. My kids will not let us come to Hawaii without getting several bunches of apple bananas. They also had a new kind of banana that we had never heard of before called an ice cream banana that was more creamy rather than tart like the apple bananas. These are not your ordinary bananas, so expect something different, and it's definitely worth grabbing a bunch to try. And lastly, I cannot forget to mention one of the more popular treats on the island, and that is Dole Whip. If you are a Disney fan, you will know what this frosty pineapple treat is. There are two locations to find this delicious stuff on Oahu. One is at the actual Dole plantation. You can either go inside and get it, or they now have a food truck outside where you can get it too. And the other place is Aulani. So if you're staying there, you can also get it swirled with other flavors, just like they do at Disneyland or Disney World. Although it's absolutely impossible to list all the great places to eat on Oahu because there are so many to choose from, I hope that this has given you at least a head start on some ideas of some great places to eat and some foods to try while you're on Oahu. Thank you for joining me and letting me share with you about what to eat while on the island of Oahu. If you have any more questions about Oahu or anything I have mentioned in this video, feel free to leave your question in the comments. Also, make sure to hit subscribe so you can see more of my videos to help inspire your next travel destination and to help you travel savvy.